How's it going? All right, so this is going to be the first episode where we actually dive into the programming. We're going to set up our Meteor application and basically just start right from there. So if you don't have Meteor, you're going to have to go to meteor.com, click on Get Started, and you can download it if you have. I personally have Windows, so I've never gone through the Linux OS X process, but whatever you have to do to get that started and get it into your command prompt. And then we've got the Windows version over here where it says install Chocolatey. So you're gonna have to install Chocolatey and you're gonna have to run the command prompt using admin. So once you have that done, I already have that done, you're gonna create a basic, and notice I don't start it in admin. I think you can do it without it, but so we're in my projects directory and we're just gonna go ahead and do Meteor create. We wanna call it wETH app. It's like the weather app, right? Boom. That's gonna take about a minute to confirm or to complete. And from there, as soon as we get that done, we're going to, good Lord, that's fast. Oh my God. Well, all right, so we're gonna go right into installing the packages we need and the NPM dependencies. So let's go ahead and let me run through what all these are real quick. Basically, these are just tools or libraries to help our application do what it needs to do, essentially, right? So we've got the semantic UI package. What is that? Well, it's actually a user interface, and we have a lot of just fantastic UI components. I've used it in a lot of different projects, really enjoy it. It doesn't have everything. Sometimes I have had to go to other project or other UI libraries, implement that, but for the most part, I think it does just about everything I need it to. Julian C. Worko, Less, and jQuery are components or additional packages for semantic UI. Ethereum Web3, that's obviously the Web3 JavaScript library that helps us interact with the blockchain. Here it is on GitHub, JavaScript API for Ethereum. And this is not the documentation I like. This is the documentation I like. If you can go here and you want to figure out what is going on with the Web3 library, the JavaScript API library, what are all the cool things you can do with it, go read this. This has everything you would ever need to know about. It even has some helpful tips on dApp development, sort of. You know, I think just if you're starting out, this is a great resource to read through once. If you haven't, highly recommend all of that for reading. We have Kadira Flow Router. This is essentially a way to have, say, a menu, and you have routes on the page. Like, notice this semantic UI has /introduction/integrations. If you want to have a route like that, Kadira Flow Router allows you to do routing in your URL. That's really cool stuff too. And Tracker is a way if you have a MongoDB backend, which we will get to. We will be implementing MongoDB. Tracker allows you to read that dynamically, so if it changes on the back end, your app automatically updates and changes that on the front end. In fact, I will show you a cool example of a tracker. I am experimenting with an application right now. I have it up here. This is something I built, and I have a Python script updating real-time price feeds from one exchange, and whenever it changes up here, let's see if I can do this, it changes Let's do it that way. So, just moving everything around, right? So basically, there's a rate limit on this API, and every second it updates this in a MongoDB. You could set this up to have updated real-time price feeds, but Tracker's basically saying, oh, BNB is now 22.719, so we'll change it here on the front end. These changes may be too small or incremental to show on the front end, but the idea is that as soon as one of these updates, you can have, and this is hosted on a Galaxy site, so but before I go off on a tangent on that, kind of excited about what I was doing there. And then Session allows you, if you are on a website and you log in and you want to keep your information there, like it's a token that's generated, Session allows you to keep that on the website. We may not need it, but sometimes we do, so it's good practice to install it. And all of these are NPM packages, which public IP actually can get you the IP, but of someone who comes onto the site. But we don't need that, right? We don't need that. So let me show you how to add packages to Meteor. Not NPM packages, by the way. We'll get to those in a second. Meteor, add. And I want to be following this guide for the semantic UI. For the library, it says you got to remove some package before you can install it, and that is the standard minifier CSS. I didn't go to my packet directory or wETH app, cd wETH app, Meteor, remove. Just click up twice to go to that. So that's going to take care of that. And now we'll go ahead and add all of the packages. Meteor, add semantic UI, GNC post CSS, and then after this, we'll go ahead and install the npm packages. That requires a different command. Meteor npm install -- save, and then the packages. We have the first two. We just need to install the last 7. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull it up in our JavaScript IDE. We have WebStorm installed right now. It's a package, it's a product of JetBrains. They have fantastic IDEs for basically everything that you would ever need. They've got PyCharm for Python, and then they've also got some PHP stuff and some really great stuff. All right, I just had to run over and get some water to quench my thirst. So, they have a free 30-day trial. If you don't have a JavaScript IDE, go ahead and pick up WebStorm. I'm going to go ahead and run the app, and I'm going to start WebStorm and open up our project. npm peer requirements not installed. Okay. Oh, look what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to install a specific version of post CSS. So one of the ways that you can typically cancel a script is by hitting Control-C a lot. So Meteor npm install -- save post CSS. Now, you know what? You know what I can do? Here is our scaffolding for a different project. Projects wETH app. There it is, wETH app. I thought I had it under a different name. I saw wETH there, but okay. So let's open it up in a new window. And one of the things that we can do while we're in the editor is actually go ahead and install the NPM projects by just changing the name of it and then having meteor npm install -- save go again. And you can find all of your npm peer dependencies in the package.json file in the root directory. And we're seeing that post CSS 6.022 is needed. 022 and post CSS load configures 1, 2, and then once we have that, we can do meteor npm install. And that should take care of that. There's one other thing we need to do with our semantic UI library to get that going. It's a little bit of an interesting trick, but it gets the job done. It says create a custom semantic JSON file and client lib semantic UI. Now I don't, I'll show you something real quick. I create the lib in the client folder, and then I like to create the file right within that, semantic.json. And we just need the basic. I'm going to pull it from my other directory. You can see here how I just used it within lib. I'm just going to create it from my other directory or copy it over. This code will be open source, so you can just go to it and pick out this file and copy everything from this file into your project, or just copy the basics that was in this. And then from there, it's saying go ahead and run Meteor. And that should open up the app with the, yeah, it generated everything in our client lib directory. And it is now starting our app. Now, how do you access the application, by the way? Because you're running it locally, you can actually just use localhost 3000. Localhost / 3000. That's how you get to it. Now, it hasn't actually fully loaded over here, but it's getting to that really quickly. I'm going to show you what I've been working on in my other application. Let's see if it's updating at all. 0.3577.264. It updates like a second and a half later. So, modified, refreshing, 160.899. That was already pretty close to what it was. 160.91908, there we go. 910. Must not do it, but every 5 or 10 seconds. Yeah. Very cool. So, once our application is loaded, we can access it from localhost 3000. And this is just what's here in the very beginning. We're obviously going to update a lot of the front end. We're going to have to dive into setting up React and the flow router and that stuff. But I think for now, we have our packages and we have our NPM dependencies installed. And from here, we're going to go into the next episode and start doing some React.js.